Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a makeup look. I feel like I've not filmed a makeup look in so long. I've been really lucky lately, travelling a ton, but I have missed my setup, I've missed you guys, I've missed beating my face like an angel. I've just been missing it all. So this is a look that I kind of came up with when I was in Tokyo. I say came up with, it is so basic and so standard. I know there are a couple of little tips that I've picked up that make this makeup last really long. I wore this makeup for 14 hours one day and it still looked the exact same at the end. So yeah, I really hope you liked it. There's a couple of new products in here, a couple of really old but goodies, older but goodies, and I just really hope you like this tutorial, and I will see you wrong words. If you would like to see how I created this look, then please stay tuned. Hello. Jet lag woke me up at 4:30 a.m. So I feel a little bit crazy right now. This makeup look is my recent go-to. I'm sure I've explained that already, and I'm just going to jump right in. There's not that many products, a little bit easier than usual. Let's do this. First thing I'm going to grab is my Fenty Pro Matte Filter Primer, and my new way of using this is getting 2 pumps on my hand and literally just rubbing my hands together and just putting that all over. And this, I think, is a key part to why my makeup always lasts really long. So we're rubbing that in, then we're bringing it down our neck slightly, because I always do go down my neck with a little bit of foundation, just a little bit. And by the way, I'd done all my skincare beforehand, so essence, oil, moisturiser, then the primer. That's what I do in the mornings. The foundation I'm going to go in with is the All Hours foundation by YSL. This is the shade BD60, and I have been using this a lot. I used this a ton before I went away with them to Tokyo, and then when I got to Tokyo they had a different shade for me, which is this shade, which is it matches me like perfect. So I'm going to take 2 pumps of that in the back of my hand, and then I'm going to take a foundation brush. This is my Smith brush, the 133, and we're just going to apply this straight onto the skin. I don't know, see, at first I always think it looks like a little bit off the colour, and then it always just works out, always looks good. And then this foundation, I feel like it's a really buildable coverage. I've got a couple of little breakouts right now. I'm pretty convinced it's from the plane. I don't think it's from anything I've been using, because I've not changed my routine at all. So I'm pretty sure it's a mixture of maybe pollution, maybe the plane. Me and Jack had the best time. If you've not seen our weekly vlog, then maybe you should watch that. Honestly, just one of the most amazing experiences of my whole life. I will remember it forever and ever. When I was away, this is the exact makeup that I did every single day. And when we were away, we had really long days. Like, we were up and out of the hotel by 8:30 in the morning, and then we wouldn't really get home until maybe 10, 11 at night. So the foundation, well, this makeup in general, lasted so well every single day. And I think maybe it's because this foundation is a really good coverage. It's also a little bit more matte than what I'm used to. If you guys have been around here for a while and you know that I love my NARS foundation as well, if you want a comparison, I think that this one is really similar in texture. I think it looks beautiful. A few of my friends actually in the industry were saying that they think it's really similar. I think it's super similar, but I think it's just a little bit more matte and a little bit longer wearing. So this was me. My 2 faves are still the NARS and this one, but this is the one I've been using more, and it just seems to be great for long lasting. I think the NARS one I would go slightly too shiny by the end of the day. And then I'm just taking any excess and going down my neck. Like this breakout. Oh, it actually just hurts. Like, I just think it's so beautiful, and see, less if you just use half a pump and just put it in the areas you need and buff it out. It is stunning. It's beautiful. The concealer I'm going to use is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. I don't think I've talked about this on my channel yet, but I flippin' love it. I think it is my new favourite. I think I prefer it to Shape Tape because it is more hydrating under my eye. I don't get that crepey, creasy, dry under eye with it. Not that I got loads of that with the Shape Tape, but I do just think I like this a wee bit better. The colour that I'm using is 3W, which I'm guessing the W is warm because it is quite yellow toned. And I just use it underneath my eyes, on my forehead, usual areas. And I don't actually use it to spot conceal. I'm going to blend that out with my foundation brush. And when I'm going near my eyes, I'm really careful not to go too close to my lid, because we're not doing anything to our eyelids whatsoever. We're leaving them blank. And you guys, if you've been around for a wee while, you'll know that I've done a couple of looks like this, and it's just so easy when you skip that whole step. It just makes doing your makeup really, really quick. Got a new little technique to show you, a new secret. And I just tried this for the first time in Tokyo and it worked so well, so that's what we're doing. So we're just bringing that right up underneath the eye. It gives you that nice brightness that you need. And I think, I don't know what it's going to look like on camera, but see, for me, this colour match for me is just perfect. I'm just going to go in. I've still got some foundation left on the back of my hand, but because of my recent breakouts, I'm just going to apply some more foundation just over the blemishes and just the bad areas. It seems to be like here. I don't know if you guys know much about spots, but what do you think that this is from? Why is this happening to me? Is it something I did? Did I do something wrong? I just don't deserve it. That is my base done. I'm going to quickly powder underneath my eyes, and I'm going to be using my FAVE Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. It's so exciting because when I look at other YouTubers and their videos, I see loads of people love this, and rightly bloody so. It's my favourite powder ever. Well, I've got a few. I really love the pure one as well, but this is the one I always just reach for and I always travel with it. So I'm going to take some of that and we're just going to go under our eyes and then just the centre areas. But like I said, this foundation's a wee bit more matte and I feel like you don't have to use as much powder. Now it's time to bronze our face. I think I've used this in a couple of videos, but I've been using it consistently for weeks, and this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Powder Bronzer in the shade Saddle. I absolutely love it. It is very pigmented though, so you need to be a wee bit careful with how you apply it. So the way that I'm going to apply it is with my Smith 118 brush. It's just like a dense powder brush, and we're going to pick up some, just a little bit at a time, and then I'm going to start at the back of my cheek, and then little circular motions. We're just going to start warming up our face. I don't tend to powder my face that much, so whenever I do my bronzer, it's always on top of fresh foundation. Whenever I'm trying out a new bronzer for the first time, I always look to see if it blends nicely on top of fresh foundation, and this one really does. I know I'm about to feel so much better when this is done. I'm just going to go down the side of my nose with a tiny little amount of it. And then I just go down my neck slightly. Now for blusher, I've been using this a ton. This is the Milani blush in Luminoso. So nice, and I like to apply that with a nice fluffy big bronzer brush, and I just grab it a little bit on the tip of the brush, have a wee smile, and then I just kind of stamp it on. And it's just for a little flush of colour. Blusher, you know, it does make you look adorable. It does. I've never used to use blusher and I never used to look adorable, so that can't be a coincidence. See? For highlight, we're going to have a moment of silence. This is my MAC Oh Darling highlighter, and look what's happened. It's totally cracked and it's just chilling in the pan like this, but I am not a wasteful person and I will use it. So we're going to go in with Oh Darling highlight by MAC, and I'm just going to touch the top of my cheeks, just like so. I'm not going too ham with the highlighter. Japan, I've obviously came back from Japan a different person. I am minimalist, I am feng shui. My face is feng shui, we've moved things around. We are not doing as much highlighter. Well, we are, but we're just building it up. So just a little bit on the cheeks. We're keeping it off the centre of our face. Well, apart from my nose and my cupid's bow. But we're not going to go too cheeky with it. I am cheeky though. Little touch above the arch of the brow. Just because this foundation's a little bit more matte, it's really nice to just add a wee bit more shine. Okay, I'm just going to swap over to a little eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to apply this highlight to the cupid's bow, the tip of my nose, and then just up here, the bridge of my nose. Okay, I think that's a really nice base, if I do say so myself. So, to seal all this in, obviously we've got our primer on, which is going to help the foundation last all day. The foundation's not super dewy, so that's going to help as well. And then I've been using the YSL makeup setting spray for weeks now, and I really like it. I think it's got a really nice mister. I'll show you. See that? Decadent, expensive, luxury. It's really nice. So I'm going to... When I've been using this, you guys, I love the Urban Decay All Nighter spray, but I do not always love the scoosher. Sometimes I feel like I end up getting big blotches of product on my face whenever I use it. Product itself, honestly, the way that I would explain it is this does exactly what this does, but this one has a much nicer applicator and it goes on a lot softer, and you don't get any of the splashy spray, you know? So I've kind of moved on. Okay, so now we're set, our foundation's looking great. And I'm going to move on to brows. So the brow product I've been using and flipping loving is the Ka-Brow by Benefit. This is the shade number 4, and I'm going to zoom you in and show you how I've been doing my eyebrows. So I'm going to just comb through my little eyebrows. This is how it comes. It's like a pomade, and I'm going to use the brush that comes with it, because you guys always go crazy and say that that's rubbish, Jamie. You have to use the brush that comes with it. And the way that I've been doing my eyebrows is just by starting on the top. So straight away they're looking a wee bit better, a little bit more elevated. I've been watching a lot of Queer Eye. By that I mean I finished it, and I like how he always says elevated. Like, you feel better, you feel elevated. I'm just going through the tail of my brow now, just to build that up a little bit more as well. And then when we come towards the front, we've got hardly any product on our brush. I'm just going to put a really light shadow of the product there. And then what you can do is you can actually use a spoolie just to really brush that out. And it just looks a little bit more groomed and defined, but nothing crazy. Now we've done that, they're not looking too crazy, they're just really nicely, naturally defined. They're darker on the outsides and lighter on the middle. It's like the classic ombre eyebrow. What I'm going to take now is my 24-hour brow setter. This is the best brow gel on the market. Once you've done it, it dries and your brow hairs are literally never going to move until you wash your face. It's the best. Even if you use this when you've got no makeup on, like if I was just to go to the gym and I didn't have any makeup on at all, I would still use this to go through my eyebrows because it makes them look so groomed and beautiful. I just absolutely love it. So I'm going through the whole brow. This kind of helps blend that pomade through them as well. Gets rid of any chunky bits if anything's been left there. From here we're going to move on to eyes, and you'll know obviously we've not used anything on our eyes at all. We don't have any foundation or concealer or primer or eyeshadow or anything. And my new fave thing isn't out on my table. Where is it? What we're going to do from here is literally a flick. A cat eye. We're going to do a nice liner, and then we're going to do lashes, and wait till you see how finished your makeup looks. So the liner I'm going to use is the NYX Cosmetics Epic Ink Liner. This is just my favourite ever, and it is super affordable because it's NYX. You know that I love it. And we're just going to do our wings. It's not a huge wing, it's not a crazy wing, it's just a really nice pretty wing that's followed on from our lower lash line, so it's pretty elevated. There's that word again. And it just makes your eye look a really lovely shape, and then you can kind of go over it again if you want it to be a bit more black. Once your little wings are done, all you have to do is take your lashes. My favourite style of lashes are the Mykonos lashes by Lily Lashes. They just last absolutely ages. When I was away, I pretty much used one pair of eyelashes for the whole time. The only reason I changed them up was because I wanted to change my look up, you know. Tip for you is once you have opened them, just keep your box and you can put them back in here. You'll remember where they are, you won't find them stuck to your dog. So when I'm trimming my lashes, I always work from the inside out, and then I'm going to cut off 2 stems. While I'm waiting for my little lashes to dry, I'm going to apply my mascara. This is the iconic London Boom Mascara. Since it came out and I tried it, I absolutely love it. So we're going to apply a coat of that to the top lashes first. I don't apply too much to them because we're sticking lashes on anyway. You don't really need a heavy mascara on the top. When you're using falsies, it doesn't really matter. And then while we're waiting for those lashes to dry, I'm going to do my little freckle. We're still waiting for those lashes to dry, so I thought I'd show you another little tip that I picked up when I was away. And I'm going to take my bronzer again and this little fancy schmancy brush from Smith. This is the 220 brush. Any brush will do, to be honest, anything that's nice and small. And I'm going to go in with this bronzer, and I'm going to go along my lower lash line. A bronzer is just like a warm brown eyeshadow really, isn't it? But this is super light, so it's not going to drag your eye down, it's not going to look too heavy, and all it's doing is framing your under eye, and we're powdering a little bit more as well. So you can see the difference. That's just framed my eyes a little bit, and we're ready for some bottom mascara once our top lashes are on. While we're waiting for those to dry, I'm just going to apply some bottom mascara. Just going in with the iconic Boom Lash again. That mascara for bottom lashes is the best. So good. But you do need to wait for it to dry, so I kind of need to sit like this for a bit. And then, see, I look down and it's printed. So if you do look down and it prints, because I need to get my fucking highlighter anyway. If you look down and it prints, the best thing to do is just leave it to dry and then use a spoolie just to brush it off. But I'm going to take some of my Oh Darling Highlight by MAC. I'm going to highlight my inner corner. Okay, I'm going to zoom you out and we're going to do our lips. So that is our full face pretty much done. All that we've got left to do is our lips. Question for you guys. Do you get annoyed with me using the same product over and over again, or do you not mind it because you might have gone and bought them? So surely you would want to use them again. I try out new products all the time, but sometimes I just want to use my faves, you know? But let me know down below if you'd much rather that I try new things, but maybe you'd prefer if I started doing like a full face of new products and then we can go from there, or do you want them just added in randomly? You know, you let me know down below, okay? So my faves that I'm going to use are my Urban Decay Liar Lip Liner and my Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade Driver. So I'm just going to line my lips. And then we're just going to pop on our Maybelline. And then I always like to use my finger just to blend the lip liner and the lipstick in. And that, you guys, is the finished look. I really hope you liked it. It's just something that I thought was really easy. It's a really simple go-to look, but it's still classy and classic enough that you can wear it out, you can wear it during the day, you can wear it whenever, absolutely whenever. I wore this to Disneyland, I wore this to a huge event in Tokyo, I wore this on a plane, do you know what I mean? So you can go hard, you wear it wherever you want, you enjoy it. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye!